Hello, this is Jonathan with Sojourners Awake. I hope this recording finds you well and at peace. Please enjoy this excerpt from Sojourners Awake, Descent into Avernus, as the Sojourners encounter a pack of gnolls, demons from the abyss. What will they discover? And so our story continues. The Sojourners wasted no time in preparing to leave. Once out of sight of Grovelore, the covered wagon continued on the trail leading through Kryptogarden Forest. Many may recall that after Grovelore was overrun by orcs and owned by the Runedeath family, many monsters made their abode here and many wicked deeds were committed. Recently, the threat of a gnoll uprising pressed the Sojourners into action, and so this hunt began. While traveling through the wilds heading northward, they expected to arrive in the Desserin Valley within 2 days. However, after the first night, they met Alex and his son, merchants from Red Larch, journeying south to Waterdeep in order to trade. That night, Felthrin witnessed a peculiar sight in the woods, a large bloated deer, uneaten and untouched, producing an abysmal energy. After investigating the remains, Garandan dispelled the negative energy and realized it was indeed the beginnings of a portal into the abyss. The Sojourners returned to the camp and heard the hauntings of their demonic shrieks echoing through the woods. Bracing themselves for attack, they stood their ground and surrounded the camp, the wagon, the merchant, and his son. Suddenly, as Hay walked over to Felthrin, he felt dizzy, and an icy pool of water opened before him, and he slipped from the dwarf's sight, all to the tune of the laughter of the Queen of Winter. And so our story continues. Please roll initiative.
$25.
Nice, good job.
25, eh?
Well, that was my only natural 20 for the night, so.
Oh,
I got one worse than last time, so I got 9.
I took the boost to my initiative, so I can now possibly out initialize you, but I got a 10.
initialize you. Garandan, you cast daylight, and it is bright. Can you remind me how much light you have expanded through this dark forest?
60-foot radius of light.
So because of your daylight, you witnessed these 2 maw demons. You heard the spidery spindle legs of demons clicking through the forest, upsetting the brushes and the leaves. They come at you with 4 legs on the bottom and these large gaping mouths sprouting out of their heads. They have sharp razor-like teeth and they are chomping and biting. Bramble, must be of what you heard. 2 of them are coming towards you and Felthrin at the time. So top of the round, Bramble, the daylight has been cast and illuminated these demons in your place. So with the dark forest on your left, a hill behind you, and your camp being converged on multiple sides, I will allow you one question before you jump into combat.
We heard sounds from pretty much every direction, right?
You did, and I would say you definitely heard sounds coming from this western side.
Okay. Bramble's going to take a shot at the bottom one, but try to stay aware of other noises that are going on around.
Okay. Any features that are going to help you do that, or is that just something you're letting me know?
Just letting you know.
You got it. All right, this one takes 12 points of piercing damage, and it continues to move towards Felthrin.
Okay, and after the hit, he will put in a nice taunt as well as a bonus action, creating an opportunity for Felthrin or whoever to get an attack against it with opportunity, or with advantage.
Good to go. If that's the end of your turn, you're going to hold your ground. Felthrin, you are next.
So does Felthrin know or see any of these other monsters, or is that the only one?
Be an action to make a perception check. Otherwise, in the heat of battle, you're just going to have to rely on the disturbance in the forest. You can guess there are multiple creatures coming at you. You just don't know where they're coming from.
All right. Well, I can't get to them. They're too far away. So,
Anything you can throw?
Bramble.
Don't toss a dwarf. Toss a handful.
Toss a handful. Sneak attack.
Felthran is going to. You guys haven't seen him do this recently, but he is going to wave his hammer over his head, and he is going to cast Entangle and cast a square around these two guys. So it's a 20 foot square. So they should both be in it. And then he's going to walk forward. Actually, no, he's not going to walk forward. He's going to cast Entangle on those two guys, and then I don't know if he's going to do anything else. I think that's it.
That's going to make them have difficult terrain.
Correct.
Having their speed. Nice. Okay, so Garandan and Bramble, you watch as all these vines from Kryptogarden Forest begin to respond to the voice of Felthran, the druid. No longer the fighter, you see him in these vines and thorns begin to sprout up right in front of the maw demons, smacking one in the face, grasping one by one of the legs and holding it in place, therefore reducing their speed by half.
No, you know what? Felthran will move. He'll take a little step out so that he's kind of protecting Bramble and these other guys from when these guys come at him.
Okay. Garandan, it's now your turn. After casting the daylight, you looked back and you said to Alex and his son, stay close. Alex put his son in the wagon in response to your command, and you stand there.
Is Alex wearing any kind of armor, or does he have any kind of weapon?
He has a simple spade, and he's got a little crossbow that he's starting to unhinge from his wagon, but no leather armor.
Okay. Garandan's gonna take out his shield and his warhammer and start banging it, like just kind of working it into a frenzy, and he's gonna hit the warhammer against the anvil on his shield and bless everyone around him, including himself, and give a bonus D4 to everyone on whenever they need it. You can choose to when to use it. And then as a bonus action, he's gonna cast Shield of Faith on Alex and just kind of guard him, as well as a plus 10 minutes, plus 2 AC. And so for Alex.
Awesome, so his AC is now 14.
Okay. And then he's going to, get ready boys, here we go.
Alex takes a look at you and sees this shimmering dwarven energy begin to caress around him. And he grabs the crossbow and begins pointing it towards anything that's coming his way. He makes eye contact with you, Garandan, and follows your line of sight. Which direction do you look? North, south, east, or west?
I'm looking west.
Okay.
Yeah.
West. He turns his back towards Felthran and Bramble. He takes a knee and he holds his action. And not a moment too soon. To the west. At first you think they're possibly hyenas, the yipping, the laughing, but you see that they're pockmarked with all kinds of abysmal infections and corruptions. They're large dog-like faces with two red glowing eyes. They bark forth, slobbering and slathering, chasing you, going straight towards the wagon. And they have on their backs large scorpion tails. Alex is going to hold his action. He's going to take a shot at one. That's going to be a 16 to hit. And he does a simple 4 points of damage to this little doggy dog. One's going towards Alex, and the other two are curling around, maybe possibly going towards Garandan and Bramble. They cannot reach him at this time. And then, top of the round, the maw demons are going to progress, going towards Felthran, Oh, nope, they don't. They can't make it. The vines begin to tear around them, pulling him and holding him down. They snap and bite at the leaves. Having their movement, they are unable to make a melee attack.
Nice.
But they are going to use their action to get within melee range. Seems like your magic enticed them. And then 3 more show up. All right, boys. They cannot converge on you during this round, but you see their teeth, especially the doggy dogs, the shashuvas, the hellhounds of the demon lord Yinagu, spouting forth this black ichor that you saw in the wilderness. You can even see the pieces of deer carcass still clinging to their flesh as they burst forth from this portal. Top of the round, Bramble, how would you like to proceed?
I have no clue.
Best policy.
You do have a wagon behind you. It has the two draft horses. You are on a tribor road, kind of, I'll say the little blue line is the road. You're kind of settled off the road to the side near the forest. And then you have that hill going upwards that you could do a quick hike up or gain some ground advantage. Or otherwise you could just tear into the forest from where you came, where you found the deer carcass to begin with.
I think Bramble's going to prioritize protecting Alex and the sun.
Okay.
So I think he's going to use his bonus action to dash over this guy and Alex, the Shashuba.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to pull out Queen's Favor and have a nice go at it. That's a natural 20.
That should work.
Ooh.
This is the Queen's Canadian. It was,
Oh man, I just see him just doing a double take and seeing these hyenas come by. He rushes past right as Alex is about to get mauled by one of these dogs. This flash of green light slashes through the dog's leg. It licks into flames and it falls to the ground completely incapacitated. It is still alive, but you have incapacitated it by removing 2 of its legs. And its hind legs are just kicking up the dirt around it, but it just slobbers on the ground. So it is currently conditioned incapacitated. Cannot take actions or reactions until the following turn. Bramble holds his ground. Felthrin.
Well, Felthrin is going to smack the guy that Bramble shot, which is the one on the right, correct?
Yes.
Have advantage.
Left, but yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay.
He's going to smack that guy, but when you see him swing his hammer, he seems to be swinging it a lot harder than normal. Almost looks a little reckless, and so he's going to use his great weapon mastery. So that's going to be an 18 to hit. So that will be 18 points of bludgeoning damage and 5 points of lightning damage. It's part of who I am.
Yeah.
So he's going to swing the same way at that guy for his second attack. And that's a bigger hit. 20 points of bludgeoning and 6 points of lightning damage.
So you swing right around and you just smash through this maw demon, splattering his remains, and the lightning from the sky bolts into your warhammer and delivers another charge to the demon to your right, issuing the remaining 6 points of damage to him.
Beautiful. Now, because I reduced that guy to 0, I get a bonus attack against him with my great weapon mastery. So he's going to go again. Same roll on the damage. So we're going to have 19 points of bludgeoning and 2 points of lightning.
I think I underestimated Felthrin.
So I'm going to actually use my superiority dice too, and I'm going to goad this guy into attacking me.
Okay.
Which means he's going to take an extra 6 points of damage. That's what happens when you play with 16th level characters. I'm going to save my action surge for later.
I like the image of all these demons just incurring upon Felthrin. He's smacking them off with the hammer left and right, and then every once in a while this lightning bolt just delivers a charge straight through, using him as a conduit, just boom, electrifying them through. You notice that in all this attacking, the fire and the lightning, they seem to enjoy a little bit of it, although it does not do as much damage as you would normally hope. They seem to wince at the daylight that is currently being cast by Garandan.
So
If that's the end of your turn.
can I move here?
You want to move out of the way?
No, I'm not. I don't want to move. I don't want to create an attack of opportunity. I just want to move a little bit closer so that those other 3 guys see me really well. And then I'm gonna yell as I'm goading. I'm gonna yell at this one guy, "Attack me!" Even though it technically only works on that one guy. Maybe the other 3 will be tempted.
Possibly they have a hive mind.
Yeah.
Felthrin, if that's the end of your turn, Garandan, you're up.
Okay, so what Garandan's gonna do is he's gonna call down Moradin as a guardian of faith and just plonk him right there. Anything within a 10-foot radius of it needs to do a dexterity saving throw or take 20 points of damage, radiant damage, and then
That would be all 3 of them.
All 3 of them.
It's a save. As a natural 1. That's a natural 20. So 2 saves and 1 fail.
Okay. So they take 10 points, and the one that failed takes 20, and that's only good for 60 points of damage, so it's already used 40. So
Bramble, this bright light begins to fill up this area, this guardian of faith. I assume it looks like an anvil.
yeah, anvil.
Okay, this anvil drops in the middle of the battlefield and begins to charge with this radiant hum. And, double damage. As they are vulnerable to this radiant energy, right at 75 hit points, the one you were just slashing through, the little dog that was missing its legs, just lying on the ground, just flutters into ash, caught with the wind. And the other 2 take 20 points of damage. Their skin begins to char away, but they grit and bare their teeth, and they bear down to bite on you, Garandan. You have definitely garnered their attention. Anything before the end of your turn?
Yeah, as a bonus weapon, bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon, and a little warhammer is going to form around me, and I can't move it yet, but I cast it at 5th level. So.
You got all kinds of toys out there right now. There's your spiritual weapon. That's a little warhammer, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, well, a big warhammer probably, but yeah. All right. You can see the madness in their eyes. You can see the disorientation if they've just been siphoned from the plane of the abyss right into the strange world. Hungering and starving, they begin to yip, and Felthrin, yep, they're all going to attack you.
Come on!
They're all going to attack you.
Come on!
They're all going to attack you. 10. Natural 1. 25 and 22.
Both of those are good.
All right, so 2 hits.
Those.
2, second one. Another natural 1 and a 17.
Not good.
And then the other one, 16 and an 8.
No.
It's only 2 hit.
Correct.
I'm going to cast
Just
Warding
boom.
Flare on 2 hits as well.
I'm sorry?
I'm going to cast Warding Flare on both those 2 hits.
32 points of slashing and piercing damage, really, as the teeth bite into you.
Okay.
I do 1 a turn. So
You can do 1.
Yeah.
And what does that do? Does that cancel out the attack, or?
And then impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
That would be a 19 to hit you then, Felthrin.
19 is not good.
All right, so you take a measly 16 points of piercing damage as this demon goes to claw on you. I would like Felthrin to describe to me, take the moment as these demons converge on him. Besides the warding fair that just blinds one of them, he snaps into thin air. The others that are just piling on top of you, how do you resist their bites and their attacks?
So Felthrin is pretty strong, and I think the two of them off to his right when they jumped in, because he's left-handed dwarf, of course. Two of them, as they jump in, he kind of knocks them away with his shield, with his right arm. And then the third one that ends up barely missing is Dux. So the one that hit me is the one right straight in front of me that got me, and then the one that barely missed is the one that I'd already done damage to, and he actually just kind of yipped right underneath my arm. But as a reaction, I'm going to use Repos, and I'm going to smack him over the head as he kind of goes flying past my arm. So as he lunges past and barely misses yipping me on the side, just kind of come around like this with the hammer as he's flying by and crush his skull.
And he lands flat on the ground and begins to dissolve in the demonic ichor that you currently saw in the forest. The Shashuvas. All right, Bramble. They're going for you then, Bramble. They begin to bite, but before they're going to bite, they raise up their tail ends and they're going to launch 2 stingers inside of you. Natural 1 and a 26.
That'll hit.
All right, so make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Can I warding flare them?
Oh, that's a reaction once per turn.
Got it.
That is a 20.
You feel the barb stick into your chest and you feel the poison beginning to sting inside you, and yet you resist its effects. Please tell me how this happens.
He has as he's seeing the attack come in, so he's going to use his reaction to do the uncanny dodge as well. So that plays into it. He sees the stinger come and has just a moment to sort of dip his shoulder right before it's about to sink in deep. So it scratches across the top of his shoulder, and he feels that a bit of a burning sensation start immediately, and he just kind of like forces the venom right out.
Sheer grit and will, you push past. The Shashuva looks at you both, and they look to the side, waiting for you to keel over and become an easy target when you do not. Nevertheless, they continue to snap at you with their maws. You would take 34 points of piercing damage, but if you use...
Yep,
that's your reaction.
17, yes.
All right, so 17. You're going to burn your reaction, and they're going to snap at you. 27 and a 18.
That'll hit too.
Okay. 38 points of piercing damage as they both snap onto you.
Ouch.
Bramble, what you would notice, you may have felt this before. I'm going to let you make a arbitrary... let's do a nature check. You begin to think as this poison's injecting into you where you felt it before, and you know that this is a paralytic venom. All right, Alex is going to hide. 13 on their stealth check. That's the bottom of round 2. Bramble, you hear rustling in the bushes. I think with your passive perception, you could pick it out. The yipping of hyenas as gnolls begin to move through the bushes and launch their arrows to attack. Seeing this opportunity as demons are converging on a possible easy target, they are going to take this opportunity to collect some victims of their own. One arrow shoots into the wagon, nearly missing Alec. You can see that they are here for a feast. Garandan, you are the most easy target, so they are going to launch all 3 bolts at you. Natural 20, a 19, and a 14.
I got 16 AC, so the last one doesn't.
Okay. Total of 56 points of piercing damage as 2 bolts launch into dealing you damage. They rear back their heads and they begin to cackle. In abyssal, they cry out.
The Demon Lord Yinigu will feast tonight. The Demon Lord Yinigu will satisfy our hunger.
And the three gnolls begin to hide behind the brushes, picking you off as easy targets. Top of round 3, Bramble, you are well aware this is happening.
Does the wagon have like a single entry into the back part, or is it kind of open on all sides?
No, it has a single entry to the back and to the small little opening to the front, maybe like a window.
Okay. He's going to he's going to take Queen's Favor and slash the one that's closer to the Guardian, so straight south of him.
1 for 14.
It's 20 something.
Mm-hmm.
As he's preparing the swing, seeing that the fire wasn't terribly effective last time, and feeling the poison that just came, he's going to avoid those effects. Queen's Favor's D8 is optional, so I can choose which thing it has, which element it has. So he activates the runes for ice as he takes that slash. Then he'll use his bonus action to disengage.
Okay.
And retreat into the wagon, covering the entrance.
Fantastic. You do notice as you choose ice at the last minute, it frosts through and doesn't appear to do any more damage than normal. But you have injured this Shishuva within an inch of its life. All right, Bramble, you are now in the wagon, and now we are moving to Felthrin to see how he is faring.
Oh, Felthrin's just gonna keep whacking away.
Whack-a-mole.
That's it. So I guess he'll hit the one directly east of him.
1 for 14.
Yeah, it's more than enough. It's going to be very minimal damage. 18 bludgeoning. Actually, make that 19 bludgeoning and 2 lightning, because he's going to go to that one to attack him. And then with his second attack, he's going to go after him again. That's more than enough. And that's a little bit better. That's going to be 24 bludgeoning and 3 lightning.
Clean him out. The lightning bolt drops down on this demon. You smash it down like a spider under your hammer.
Lovely. That creates my next attack with the bonus action.
That's
more
amazing.
than enough to hit. And that's going to be 23 points of bludgeoning, 5 points of lightning. And because he heard those bolts and Garandan yip out a little bit, he knows that he's got to get this finished, so he's going to action surge to attack twice more. Starting with that guy that he just hit. More than enough to hit. That's going to be 19 bludgeoning and 3 lightning. So that one's gone. And then the last hammer will go into the last guy, and I got enough to hit, but it's minimum damage, which is still 18 bludgeoning and 1 lightning.
Bolt after bolt of lightning dropping from the sky. Indeed, Garandan and Bramble, you have never seen Felthrin fight in such a manner. He seems to command the very plane around him as he vanquishes these demonic foes from the abyss.
And he just screams.
Now we move to Garandan with these bolts shooting at you from the forest. What is your passive perception?
Perception plus 10 is 20.
Easy enough. You can see that there are 3 gnolls eyeing you from the forest, licking their lips, ready for you to keel over so they may feast on your flesh.
Okay, so Garandan's gonna move here. He's gonna heal himself because he's less than half points as well. It's a 6th level spell, heal. It restores 70 points of hit points. So he's back to full.
How many?
17.
I like how Garandan saves the best stash for himself.
And then he's just going to chuckle to himself, and he's going to just invoke the name of Moradin and cast Divine Word, which upon a failed charisma throw banishes any creature not from this plane for 24 hours. And if they if they save it, then if they have, depending on their hit points, it gives them a special attribute as well. So 7th level evocation.
Wow.
Then I would go over here, then behind the wagon, get Posh and cast these two home.
All right. So charisma save against a 19.
18. DC.
18. Okay. Yeah, I rolled a 12 and a 10.
Okay.
Sayonara. Let me know how it happens. So Garandan, he's just gonna rush over, duck down behind the thing, and with looking at him, he's just gonna open his mouth, and with the music of creation and the music of this plane, just let him have it more, and they melt, just completely go back to where they've gone from. So
in that moment, you see the very earth open up below them, and the circle of this earth begins to ripple like a lip and form these razor sharp teeth that begin pulling and sucking down on these shishuvas as they're dragged back into this portal. Then the ground slams forward at your command and is hard earth again. And for the next 24 hours, these demons are gone. Technically, you can't do 2 spells in the same turn, but Dungeon Master didn't catch that, so it happened.
At least they were only a 6th and 7th level spell. It was no big deal.
Yeah, sure. Oh, Patrick, you whisked me away.
for the story.
I was caught up in the story. All right, well, these gnolls are very angry now.
Yeah, they are.
Maw Demon's going to take an attack at you, Felthrin. 19.
No.
Chomps on you, just nothing's happening. It seems to be in a rage and a crazy frenzy. Despite its companions, it seems to have no care, concern, or empathy for anything other than its own hunger. The gnolls see you, Felthrin, from a safe distance. They're going to attack. 14, a 20, 22, and then a 27 and a 29.
That's 4 hits. 20 is good.
Boom, 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 boom. 21 times 4.
84.
84 piercing damage. They release a volley on you.
Yeah. That sucked.
They begin to cackle and laugh, and you hear them chanting in Abyssal, for those of you that understand this horrible, dark, demonic language.
Yenigu will feast tonight. Yenigu will satisfy our hunger.
And it is the top of the round. Bramble. Safe within the wagon. Well, arguably. Alex's son is hidden, terrified, and whimpering. Alex is holding him back and just holding a crossbow bolt at the door with you burst in with no announcement. So you can see him, but he gets a 16 to shoot you.
That's a miss.
Okay, it just lands right next to you as you cock your ear over to the side at the last minute, and he begins reloading and seeing the friendly red Larchian halfling. He says, "Bramble, what's going on out there?"
Oh, we're getting attacked on all sides. It's, normal Tuesday.
What are those things?
They're from Avernus.
Avernus.
Yeah. Stay down.
Indeed, he does.
Bramble will turn to Felthrin and see that gruesome bout of arrows that he just took. I mean, he looked like a pincushion over there. So he'll say, "Felthrin, go for cover!" And he will shoot at the Maw Demon by him to help him escape. So he carries Queen's Favor. He's right-handed. That's also where the special glove is. So he tosses Queen's Favor to the left hand and takes a shot.
From the cover of the wagon, the missile fires, singing through the air, right on the money. Go ahead and take your sneak attack since you're within 5 feet.
Yes. Oh, okay. Before the sneak attack, it is 10 piercing damage. The sneak attack is 8d6.
You say 8d6?
That's like a fireball. Felthrin, you go to swing, raising your hammer one last time, releasing the bolt of energy, and a missile just sings past your ear, nicking off a piece of your whiskers, carrying it with it, and landing in the demon, dropping it down dead instantly, as if the attacker knew the exact anatomy of this particular demon. Bramble, how else do you continue?
Nothing else in particular. He'll move to the other side of the wagon and just like push Alex's head down. Like, really, just stay down.
Yes, you are in a covered wagon, nevertheless. Cloth leather-like material is nothing. It's the only thing protecting you from these arrows. You do have a bonus action: dash, hide, disengage, search. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I think he will hide.
You can make a stealth check then.
So he'll.
And I'll allow this to be for the group, Alex and his son.
Okay. Natural 1, but.
Yes. Please.
But I can't roll below a 10.
Well, the halfling too, man.
Yeah,
You're Henfolk.
That too, right? Well, I rolled a natural 1 again.
Which you have to take. Has that ever happened in the history of D&D? Oh dear.
So that is.
What's it feel like to be unlucky, Bramble?
I wouldn't know. I still rolled a 25. I can't roll below a 10.
So you successfully get the entire crew down, even as unlucky as the moment you were, as you nearly like backed forward and realized you pushed against the leather, alerting them to your presence. You quickly duck down instantly as a bolt flies through the wagon. You hear the gnoll laughing, "I got one," as you do speak Abyssal. "I got one in the wagon." And you are currently covered under parcels, and magically one of the pots that the merchant was carrying just lands right down on top of the sun, shielding him. Felthrin, it is now your turn.
Felthran heard Bramble, but he's seeing red. So Felthran is actually going to start running towards the gnolls, and he will get there because when he arrives, he will be in brown bear form. So he turns into a bear as he starts running towards these gnolls, and when he shows up, he's going to take a couple whackums at him. So he'll start with the bite. 15 does not hit, and then he's going to follow it up with a claw.
Have you used your blessing yet? It's a D4. Add it to that.
Oh, I have not. Let me do that then. 16?
The armor class is 16.
Okay. Nice. So then, the damage would be 12 points of biting damage, and then he'll follow it up with a claw, and that's going to be a 23 to hit, and that is going to be, wow, good damage rolls. 15 points of claw damage, and he's going to roar.
Bramble. Felthrin. Morden be praised. The blessings of the dwarven kind still linger in your brown bear form, and taking the gnoll out at 27 points of damage. You just scrape him across the side as he's firing away at Bramble, keeping his concentration on the wagon. He laughs, turns to look at his companion as if to celebrate preemptively, and sees this brown bear muzzle, saliva dripping, and his head is just caved in. He lands on the ground limp. That is the end of your turn in Garandan. You're behind the wagon. The Sheshuvas disappeared from your existence.
So what Garandan's gonna do is he's gonna climb on top of the wheel of the wagon, and he's going to aim a little bit and then fire a guiding bolt at the furthest away gnoll. Just kind of, and he's going to cast it at 4th level.
Yeah, and they do have some cover.
They do have some cover. Okay.
Yeah.
So am I rolling with disadvantage or am I
Just a higher AC.
Just a higher AC. Okay, cool. All right. So roll. I'll say it's only a 6. So, plus my spellcasting modifier is 5, so it's 11. What's his AC? I can't tell.
Blast through. You knew at least it was a 16. It's obviously higher than that by now.
Oh,
You can tell by you're trying to cover, aim at him as he's kind of like between some branches, and the bolt just blasts against a tree line as he ducks his head.
And so then he's just going to move his hammer 20 feet
Okay.
and end his turn.
His hammer chases after you, Felthrin, aiding you in the attack. All right, bottom of the round. Indeed it is. One gnoll is going to run away. He disappears into the forest. The other one's going to make one stand attack against you as he pulls out this wicked javelin and says, in abyssal.
Bear flesh pleases Yenigu just as well as dwarven flesh.
And he's going to stab you with his pike. Just a 27 to hit.
That's good enough.
Are you still standing?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to run away then. And he's going to use the rest of his movement, 20 feet, to get deep into the bushes. You can still see where he's at, though. His companion, however, used the dash action and just took off. Bramble, you can, with most of the area clear, Bramble, you can start to hear everything beginning to die down. You hear the bear rustling in the woods, and you can pick up with your sensitive hearing the footfalls of gnoll creatures distancing themselves from you. You smell Garandan pressed up against the covered wagon, launching a guiding bolt and then silently cursing to himself as it failed to make contact.
Bramble,
You can even begin to hear the cracklings of the fire beginning to die down. What do you do?
Bramble picks up his head over the side of the wagon and realizes the gnoll is out of sight. So even if he had line of sight, it's outside daylight, and he doesn't have dark vision, so it's gone. So he'll listen for a moment, look at Alex and his son, and sort of give them a reassuring look. It's almost over.
He looks at you and says, us Red Larchins gotta stick together. I cannot thank you enough for being here.
Well, it's possible you wouldn't have been attacked at all if we weren't here. We attract this kind of thing.
He then gives you a somewhat curious look. Anything else you proceed to do at the top of your turn? All right, we're going to move to Felthrin. You are in brown bear form, and the creature left to your sight. You do get an opportunity attack, though.
Okay. Yeah, I guess he's still in bear form, so he's not going to. He can't switch back in between. So, do I get to choose whether it's a claw or a bite?
Should be a claw.
I think so. That's not good enough, though. That's going to be an 8.
So he does move all the way throughout the that space in the forest. He is only about 25 feet away from you, but you can see that he's through the bushes. I think for a bear, it would not be difficult terrain, but for Felthrin, it would be.
Yeah, I don't think Felthrin's going to let him go. Felthrin's going to chase him down, attack him again. All right, the bite is going to be a 17, and the claw is going to be a 19.
Okay.
And that will be a total of 16 points of damage.
Within your bite, as you slash his back, you clamp down on his shoulder, and you lock in with a vice, having him restrained at this time. He begins to tussle back and forth with you. Garandan, at this point you can only see the ruckus in the bushes. You can guess where they're at, but at this range it would be quite a difficult target, and with some chance of hitting Felthrin. Nevertheless, not impossible.
I'm gonna go into the wagon. Garandan's, he knows Felthrin. He just saw him take down like 6 small. So I'm going in the wagon, and I'm just, hey, is everyone okay? Did anyone need healing?
And as you do that, we're gonna pan back over to Felthrin. The gnoll in a fight for his life. He's gonna take a 22 to hit you.
That's good.
And he's gonna do 14 points of damage.
Still in bear form.
It's gonna do one more attack, and that's a 17 to hit you.
17 is good.
That's a little bit smaller. 12 more points.
All right, he is now Felthrin again.
And the gnoll just stabs you, and you revert back to your form, and he sees you and says, and he begins to lick his lips as the lust begins to take over. A little bit of your blood splatters on him and begins to slobber and just lick your skin as he begins to partake in this cannibalistic ritual. He is going in for the dime.
No, you don't get to lick my skin.
Yeah, so Bramble, did you intend to stay with Garandan?
Yeah, I'm just... Felthrin's off doing his thing.
Felthrin, let's resolve this.
No licking.
No licking.
At least... Oh!
That's horrible. All right. That's going to be max damage because I don't like being licked. So that's 25 points of bludgeoning and 6 points of lightning.
As he begins to lick at you, anticipating the final supper after all his hard work and realizing that he almost gave up. You cry out, no licking, and revert to dwarven form and smash, cleaving him nearly in two as you snap his spine in half and he fumbles under the ground below you. You are left alone in the forest.
Stay away. And then he'll walk back towards the wagon.
And so our story continues. You find yourselves in the wagon, gathered together in the silence of activity, the silence of peace after activity begins to fill your senses. Once again, you begin to now sense the wind gently moving across the roadway. You can even hear the insects beginning to chirp back in as these creatures have left or been totally annihilated. There's a slight acrid smell where the ooze is left behind. This demonic ichor has no place to coalesce once again as they do in the abyss. Here on the material plane, it just simply leaves behind a residue. Garandan, you see Bramble, you see Alec, and you see a cleverly placed bowl. The sun kind of peeks his eyes under the bowl and says, "Are they gone?"
We're safe now.
And from the forest, you look and you see a very bedraggled Felthrin. Felthrin, how do you appear?
So Felthrin is walking back, and his hammer is still glowing with like a bright white light, but he's definitely walking a little slower than he normally would. He's got a big smile on his face, but you can tell it's a weary smile, and he's kind of limping a little bit. You can, if you're looking at him walking towards you, you can probably see the tail of one of the bolts, because they all hit him in the back. So you can kind of see the tail of one bolt hitting, kind of sticking out of the side of his leg. That's what you would be able to see. I think that, though, Garandan, you might have seen all 4 bolts go in. So, or maybe both you did. But anyways, he's limping, kind of struggling back to the cart. They're gone for now.
Wow, wasn't that combat exciting? I love the way the Sojourners banded together, used their various assets and skills to assist each other in combat. I really enjoyed how they protected the NPC, Alex and his son. That's certainly going to help pay dividends in the future. I hope you enjoyed listening to the story as much fun as we had telling it. Please check in again and find out what happens next as they pursue these gnolls through the forest. And so for now, our story continues.